So now let's take a look at understanding the template that we downloaded, and if this is the one you also download, and look at it from beginning to the end. There's something we call template slicing. When you download templates like this, you slice it to different categories. But here, let us just focus on first of all studying the 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 template, and okay, and we move on and see how the template is being structured. This is very, very key and important. We should look at how the template is being structured. So let's start from the beginning. This is the doc type, like normal doc that we used to use. I know you are familiar with Ed. That's what we've been doing, most of the things we've been doing. So if you look at our profile web, for instance, it has similarities. HTML length, can you see language is English, Ed. So it's almost similar to what we've been doing. So there is nothing special about it. So I'm returning back to it. So here, because the author have agreed that we should put their information as the author, and that we should not remove it as the licensing licensing note. So we have to just leave this section. So here we might have to come to this um, title. We can edit from here. So if you look at it now, let me go to the website. So we want to start from the beginning. This is the site, and here you see mix a personal category bootstrap. All right, mix a personal category bootstrap responsive website template. All right, so that's the title. So that's where we are changing it from. So we have to change this title now and change it to maybe personal profile websites. All right, so home. So we can just leave it as. So we have to remove this because we don't want your user to know where you are getting it from. So we can just remove this. So I've changed it to personal profile website. Can you see? So it's saved now. If I refresh, so it has changed. Can you see the title has changed to personal profile website? So next is for us to look at the template CSS. They were interested in actually trying to let us know how everything has been captured. So the template CSS is inside assets, CSS style starter.css. Can you see? So here we'll go to, so if I want to see the CSS file, I can go in here, look at it, asset, this is asset, CSS is inside CSS, then starter CSS style starter.css, and this is the style starter.css. And here is the CSS file that handles everything within the website. As you can all see, the HTML, the body. If I change anything here, just look at, if I remove this now, here, if I remove this and save it, and I go back here and I refresh, most likely everything is scattered. Can you see? So that is the power of cascading style sheet. That website that is so beautiful, it has ended up as this mess. So CSS is very, very important. And if you look at this CSS, for instance, as we came to the last page, this is 11,929. So imagine you want to write this code all by yourself, and you are writing a CSS file that is up to 11,000 lines. So that is why most times we adopt to use already built templates, so that we don't really need to reinvent the wheel. Then when you start advanced learning, or going further, you start learning about how to use platforms for those who will be product designers. On Citadel, we also have a course for product designers if you want to learn it. So you can use product designer tools like Figma to design your web page, first of all, the way it looks, all right, before you now eventually go ahead and and convert it to a web page. So I think I've made mention of investor.ng here. So let me just look at the Figma design for investor.ng design that we have. My internet is off. So my quarter. Okay, so this is how a Figma website looks like. Let me go to the dashboard design. All right, so this is the dashboard design for investor.ng. For those of you that use the platform, if you go there now, you will see this particular design come up. So this is actually done on Figma. It will first of all be done this way. This is the website homepage, as you can see, though it might be something different from what you have. So this is Figma that we already designed the website. So we could have conceptualized how we want the web page to look like using Figma before we actually convert it to codes. All right, and front-end developers, that is what they do. They are trained to convert it to code. So if you are going to be trained as if you are going to focus on being a front-end developer, you would eventually learn how to convert this Figma design into web pages, all right, that looks like this. All right, so that means you will be responsible for writing all the codes from scratch too, but it might not be as long and as big as this. All right, so that is it. So there are advantages and disadvantages of getting templates online. One of the advantages of getting template online is that if you want to design a very little website like this website that we are designing, for instance, profile website, you don't necessarily have to do it from scratch. But when you are building an enterprise solution, like investor.ng is a fintech platform that helps startup raise funds, help you save in naira and dollar. So this is more of a specialized solution that you might not see the template online. So you go through the route of a UI UX developer. Like this profile website now is referring to a UI UX developer. All right, so a UI UX developer will help you to design it this way. Then you will now be able to now write the code as a front-end developer and present it like this, and you'll be talking about communicating with the backend. So that is the way it works. So all of this, for you to be able to come up with a website like this, it's involved you learning, understanding between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That is all. Those are the three things you need to know to be able to convert this type of a design to this. All right, so that is what it is. So let's focus on this particular template that we downloaded. So that's the link for this CSS. So we'll still have some reasons to actually go into the CSS to do one or two things. Okay, so that's the style sheet template.css. Then this web front, if you can see the web front, the link is an external link. Can you see fonts.google? That is where the fonts will be referencing from. It's also a style sheet, so it's from Google API. All right, so that is that. So look at here now. From here we have the header. As you can see, we have a div. The div has a class. All these class are all have all been styled inside the style sheet. I hope I taught you class and ID, how to use class and ID for to reference. It could be class or ID, but here I think what is used mostly is class. So it is that class that will be used. So that is W3L header. That's the class. So let me copy it and go into our asset, go into CSS, and go and find here. You type Ctrl F, paste. So as you can see, WA3 header grid, WA3 header. So these are all the styling for that particular class. All right, guys. So every class you see here, you can find all the descriptions of their styling instead style.css. So if you search for hero header, no results. Okay, so maybe that's not there. So but of course, okay, so let's look at container. Let's search for container. Yeah, the purpose is just to help you get familiarized with familiarize exactly with this thing. So this is container. It is class. That's why you see dot container. If it is an ID, for instance, it's going to be hash, the name of the ID, identity. Okay, so that's how that works. So class are always dot container. So if it is an identity, I don't know whether I made mention of it during the styling section. All of this this column name, all of them, they are all classes. So I'm not sure if there is any ID there. If there is an ID, I will just let you know. So that is that. So okay, so we should move to the heading. So now look at this very well. This is a class nav link. So there is a class that is actually styling the navigation link. That's what that means. So let's take a look at it. This is the last time we will be coming to look for. Yeah, so this is it. This is how the navigation link is being styled. The display block, padding this navigation link over. If you link over it or you focus, it will change decoration to none, etc., etc. So that one takes us away from having to go to the styling. But if we need to go there, we'll definitely go there. So as you can see, you are seeing the reference. We've used href. This home is indexing home page. Now when you say index.html hash about, so it's going to look for the ID call about and display the page. So let me look for about. Exactly. So it is going to come to the home page, the same page, and it will load the about us section. This is about us section. Where is about us section? About me section. I'm actually looking for that about. All right, so that is what then this service will go to automatically locate the service section on this page. Gallery will also do the same thing. All right, this navigation, Ctrl F, gallery, work gallery. So as you can see, it will pick the ID. So hash is references ID, dot references class. So that is how it works. When you use hash here, this place, all this hash gallery is going to look for the ID core gallery, and that is where it's going to come to. So if I refresh now, if I refresh this place and I click where is gallery, about us, my work, services, for instance. So it will come to my services, the section of the services on the same page. So you will observe that most pages now doesn't have different, they put all the content on the same page, but the navigation will now take you to each of them. So that is what that does. So when you see that, this kind of href, that's what it means. About, for instance, when I click on about, it goes to about section. All right, so that is how it works. So work, this is the work section, which goes to the gallery. Work section. Okay, it's showing the gallery of the person's work. All right, so that is that about this section. So, and also on this page, it is not everything here we might need. Sometimes when you are designing an a profile, when you download a template, sometimes it is not everything within the page that you will need. So anyone you don't need, you just remove them. But for here, I think I'm going to need this section. So I will now go and change everything in this section to my own information. So how do I do that? So I'm going to go to the, I think this is the section. This is the section that houses the main banner section. This section. So hello, I am Christopher. So I'm going to say I instead of hello to make it a bit original. I